So this is a part 2 to chaos. I originally thought I covered most of what I wanted to in this category for a while, but it turns out that I completely forgot a very important type of chaos, which is emotional manipulation. The most notable figures for this are Amber Heard, Darth Sidious, or Emperor Palpatine, Light Yagami, the Joker, and the media, as well as, honestly, many people around us. You see, it's more of a cultish movement than a specific person because it spreads really quickly. With emotional manipulation, it's easy to make anyone look like a bad guy, and it is so quickly turned on people. Light Yagami uses his girlfriend to carry out his will with his love, saying things like, "You will do this for me," or "He is a criminal, he deserves to die," kind of like Dexter, totally avoiding the legal system since it has their blemishes and then carrying out their own justice. The Joker manipulates masses of people by saying the crime fighter is the bad guy for causing injustice. Nearly all superheroes go through this arc, but honestly, none that comes to the top of my head portrays it quite like the Joker. This comes about because, well, it's obvious media preys on people's emotions. That is how they keep you watching, trying to tell you that there is evil in things that are usually seen as innocent. This is why, again, due process exists. It is so easy to distort people's minds. The difference between causing chaos with controversial language and emotional language is that emotional language is extremely powerful to change someone's mind on something, whereas controversial language just gets attention. For example, if I say the judge is an idiot, that is controversial language that will bring attention to it. Whereas if I say the judge is a Nazi, well, now you are playing at people's hearts. You are feeding emotion into the target, trying to get someone to believe a certain thing when it likely isn't true. But it is so powerful that it turns into, honestly, cultish behavior. You see, people are trained to see a Nazi as a threat, but not an idiot as a threat. The Joker knows this, which is how he manipulates masses of people to his will, sharing dark stories to why you should sympathize with him, despite Bruce Wayne having a tragic upbringing as well. Darth Sidious is a fantastic representation of emotional manipulation. That and the dark side cults work in this same manner, which is why the code of the Sith is so prominent. Peace is a lie, there is only passion. Through passion, I gain strength. Through strength, I gain power. Through power, I gain victory. Through victory, my chains are broken. The Force shall free me. George Lucas knew this type of manipulation very well, and he portrayed it fantastically. You can see him influence Anakin, saying that even though the powers of the dark side may seem unnatural, he will get his loved ones back. In some cases, though, you might think you are operating for the greater good by helping one individual out of emotion. You don't understand what you are doing is actually harming more to do so. Most people fall for this, and I believe it is also very well portrayed in heroic movies when the hero always lets the villain go and run free, constantly terrorizing the world or city and so on. Emotion spreads like a wildfire, and honestly, it's super contagious because of empathy. You don't even have to relate to the person to be, easily fooled by it. When you see someone cry or in pain, all you know is that you have felt harm too, and we are really evolved to help those of our tribe out just to survive. This is why emotional manipulation is, well, a very dirty tactic when used especially for bad. You see, most of the time, emotional manipulation is either just genuine emotion, or it's a faked emotion by an actor or actress to bend you to their will. It is to make you believe that what is happening is real, even when it isn't. You ever cried during a movie? You more than likely cried, even when you know it wasn't real. But it felt so real, didn't it? This is exactly how certain people in politics and society really try to play at your feelings. Look at Amber Heard. I believe there are two reasons her influence wasn't enough. First, Johnny Depp has always been known as a caring figure, but also relatable. Amber Heard people saw through the emotional manipulation. However, most of the time, people don't see this and fall for it because of how powerful it is. This is why there are genres and so on in movies. Ever since we were babies, we learned that if you cry, it gets your mother's attention. Some people never were able to wean off of this behavior. Why? Well, there can be many variations of this, but that will have to be for another day. I am just here to teach you to be skeptical of these behaviors. I am not telling you to ignore a person who broke their leg or something like that. But when people tell you something is wrong, you might want to ask for evidence first if the evidence isn't already apparent. One of the most obvious signs of emotional manipulation is when the manipulator gets what they want out of you, and then switch emotions, extremely quickly leave, or just ignore you. However, some aren't even aware they are doing it, and they can truly believe that they are in pain even when they are not. These types of people are honestly the hardest to spot because they've genuinely convinced themselves that the false pain they feel is real. This is like a life and death situation to them, even when it clearly isn't. The only way to spot this is to pay attention to what the pain is and why they feel this way. It's actually a double positive to look for this, because if you look for the issue, you can figure out how to fix it. But if you find out they are overreacting, which honestly, they will do a lot, you'll notice this is a pretty common occurrence with them. People like this will do it in most scenarios, and the more scenarios they do it in, the less likely they are even aware they are doing it. Don't forget, always stay skeptical.